Hidden Strike is an international production that reportedly cost $80 million and was filmed in 2018. It stars Jackie Chan and John Cena as two wisecracking mercenaries who must join forces to fight the real villain. While the formula is familiar, put two action stars together and see what happens. It has also created modest wins at the box office for people who want to turn their brains off and watch some shit blow up. So why did Hidden Strike take 5 years to come out? After watching the first 10 minutes, you'll know why.
The first half of Hidden Strike is the most important and, unfortunately, the most tedious to get through. We're introduced to Jackie Chan as Luo Feng, a mercenary in Iraq who is tasked with protecting the migration of a refinery's 400 employees. One of these people is Luo's own daughter, Mei Chuanrue Ma, who rarely speaks to her father. Luo Feng may be known as the dragon due to his heroic quests, but to his daughter, he's a distant father that she barely knows. Elsewhere is Chris Van Horn, John Cena, a U.S. veteran who stayed in Iraq to help protect a community of orphan children. Chris sometimes has to commit crimes to make money for the kids, and he's roped into a criminal plan by his younger brother. The plan? Abduct employees of the refinery.
In a dystopian world, a few Chinese professionals manage oil refineries somewhere in the Middle East. They have a serious problem at hand. They are surrounded by the mercenaries known as rebels, who want the oil refineries for themselves. The situation is critical, and the lawlessness spreading around the land meant they would have to escape soon. In comes Luo Feng, aka Dragon, leader of a private security team, who plans to extract the workers to a safe haven known as the Green Zone. Feng seems to be a veteran, an ex-military man, who has encountered such situations before and acts with confidence that gives the illusion that he will save everybody working in the oil refinery. Everybody trusts his decision, but when he decides that his team will take the route known as the Highway to Death, doubts begin to crowd their minds. Highway to Death was the shortest route, apparently, and all the others were blocked. Feng decided to pack the workers into buses and lead the convoy. Why did he volunteer for the mission? The reason may have been personal. Mai, Feng's daughter, was also on his mind. She worked as a doctor in the refinery, and Feng wouldn't let anything happen to her. The relationship between Mai and Feng was troubled. Feng left Mai's mother for national duties, and Mai hadn't forgiven him for that. She perceived him as having arrived to save the workers, not to save his daughter. Being a dad, he understood her anger and saw that it was futile to justify himself. Feng saved her a seat in his own bus and thought that within 8 hours, he would put her safely on the plane back to China, but fate had other plans. The convoy was marked, and the rebels were after Professor Cheng, who was the key figure. John Cena's character, Chris Van Horn, was also working with the rebels, but he didn't know their deadly plan. Feng knew that the route he had chosen would pose challenges, but he never thought that the mercenaries would outsmart him. Bus numbers 8. It wasn't easy at all. Feng suspected Chris of being a mercenary, and suspected him of kidnapping Professor Cheng, and a few other workers who knew the code to operate the refinery. Only later did Feng find out that Chris had just lost his brother, and wasn't really a mercenary. From there on, Chris and Feng became a team. Feng went through a lot of changes during his time with Chris. When he landed in the country to extract refinery workers, he behaved like a hard-boiled professional, but Chris's carefree nature and his attitude towards the village kids really changed Feng's perception of him, which in turn brought a change in Feng too. He became light-hearted, and although he wanted his daughter's forgiveness, Feng left it to a higher power to absolve him and make Mai see the truth. Mai helped Chris decipher why the mercenaries were after the refinery. Actually, The country had a network of underground pipes that could fill oil tankers if the refinery gave the order. In the end, Feng's sincerity was rewarded. He managed to save Professor Cheng and stop the oil heist. Chris and Mai helped him too, and finally, she forgave him. Mai kept a torn photo of Feng in her diary, symbolizing she was always close with him, but had also severed ties. Feng wanted to mend the broken ties, which is why he restored the photo to its original state. He had the second half of that photo with him, where he could see his family. He safely kept Mai's diary with him and joined the photo when he got the chance. In a poignant moment, the father and daughter recognized that they didn't have to punish each other anymore by feigning indifference. Feng's next mission came just in time, but this time he had both Mai and Chris on his side, and it finally looked like he would never become grumpy again, and live as a happy man, ready to face the challenges head-on, but with a smile on his face.